All right, y'all. Welcome to another video. I'm not sure what number this is. Um, it's been a long time since I made one. It's been a couple months. Been super busy, so this is kind of just another one of those Lotus eaters. Life just gets in the way and stops you from what you're trying to really work on. But I have been working on this project actually. And so the first part of my first book is on medium.com. It's in my channel description. Been editing that a lot. Part 2 of the first book will be out pretty quickly. I'm editing that now, and the last part is probably a third of the way written. So hopefully, I'm hoping sometime by the end of this year, maybe beginning of next year, I'll have my first book done. And again, this is like a Bible kind of a rewrite, where I'm extracting the thread of Gnostic Vedanta / Meek Gnosis. And that's kind of one of the things I'd like to talk about in this video. Is I've really been kind of working on defining what this whole philosophy is. I've been calling it Meek for quite a while. But I've realized now it's really two different things. There is Gnostic Vedanta, which is the philosophy. And then there's Meek Gnosis. And Meek Gnosis it's the day-to-day application. It's how do you live your life? So it's like one is understanding who you are and where you are, perhaps what we're doing here, the larger like questions. And then the other one is what I think a lot of philosophies lack, and that is what do you do about it? How are you supposed to live your life? A lot of philosophies are they're negative. They're don't do this, don't do that. I know I'm like just sort of wading into this whole philosophy field, but I just came across Kant, which is really strange, considering how important he really is kind of to the Western world. And I actually kind of agree with him, but he's another person who has a negative philosophy, basically telling you what you can't do and not what you should or how you should live your life. So if you've been looking around at different philosophies and you're always being told what not to do. It's like the Buddhists are like, you don't cling to things. Even like the Vedanta folks, they'll tell you, you are Brahman, and you're not this material world. Well, what does that mean? What are you supposed to do with that? That's what the Meek Gnosis is all about. The Gnostic Vedanta is exploring Brahman. It is exploring the ideas of clinging and these types of things, and then fulfilling or filling out the final part, which is actually how to live your life to be the most productive person you can be, the happiest person you can be. Even like Buddha has the Eightfold Noble Path, but that is a response basically to a negative idea. I think there's actually positive things that you should be doing in this world. I believe that we are here for the experience and that we are here to help life flourish. We have this unique ability of what people like to call consciousness. It's conscientiousness. That's really what sets us apart. We can tell good from evil, right from wrong. Know whether or not we follow these things is well, welcome to being a human being. So there's that. I got the book going. It's on medium.com, and I have really been focusing on separating the two philosophies and trying to get them out there. I'm going to have a white paper published probably here in a little while. It's in rough draft form, explaining what the two philosophies are and how one of the main principles of the Meek Gnosis and Gnostic Vedanta is this idea that our attention is the currency of our reality. whatever this is, whether you believe this to be creation or a spontaneous generation through the Big Bang or some type of simulation, or some type of emanation, whatever you believe it to be, or whatever you think it to be, or whether you care or don't care. Where was I going with that? Well, I just totally lost my train of thought. My bad. Hopefully I get it back. But this is going to be a rambling video anyway. Actually, I can't let that go, can I? Yeah, I'm going to let it go. Let's put something out that's completely broken. So the white paper, the book, the currency. That's where we were going, the currency of this place. So at the core of our understanding, it's wherever you focus your attention, that is what grows. That's how you feed our reality. So things like, take like politics, they always like focus on these subjects because they need that energy to feed that. We just went through the whole thing with the whole medical thing that happened. And these folks were using the power of attention to drive policy, to move large sums of money, to literally change the way that people see the world and behave in the world, to change the way they're asking for government to intervene in policy and day-to-day activities. The same thing happened during 9/11, World War II. You can go back. These huge events where there's tons of attention, people try and capitalize on this attention to use it to fuel what they feel this world needs to be. See, you are a co-creator in this space. Reality, we are co-creators. And the way you co-create is through your attention. Yeah. There is no point to this video. I am literally just going to ramble on everything I've been working on. I'm going to put a little Lotus symbol on there, meaning that's what this has been about. Life has really, really gotten in the way. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Got a whole bunch going on. It's just absolutely crazy. But as I keep saying in all my videos, this work must go on. No matter what happens in my life, I will always, in some way or another, be putting this out in the world. And I make these absolutely terrible videos for the purpose that I know that whoever somehow, I don't even know how you find one of my videos. I have no idea. I get so few views, but the handful of you that do watch it, cool. I wish some of y'all would leave some comments. I hate when people ask for comments. I'm not asking for comments, though. What I'm really, really after is engagement. What issues do you see with this philosophy, or what questions do you have about this philosophy? That kind of thing. Because I'll be honest with you, the only thing I got going for me is I use all the different AIs out there to try and troubleshoot my own philosophy, because there's no people in this world that you can talk to about philosophy. Can't get them off their damn phones. I mean, people are so entertainment driven and bling bling. It's really kind of a sad state of affairs, to be honest with you. So I got to wade through that whole entire mess, and it absolutely infects my life too. I'm not going to say that I live in a world where no one stares at their phone. I'm just going to say I think I'm one of the few people I know. Actually, I don't know anybody who doesn't stare at their phone. I just don't know. Sidetracked again. But that goes back to power of intention, of your attention. You see, those Black Mirror devices, they're trying to steal your attention. They're stealing your life from you. You cannot co-create in this world if you're staring at your phone. I don't care what you think you're doing. if you think you're making the world better through some political movement or some religious movement or whatever it is, some sort of art thing, maybe you're out there trying to help the farmers or whatever. If you're spending your life staring at your phone, your life has been stolen from you. End of story, period. You don't have a life. Your humanity has been stolen from you. That's because the only thing you have is your attention. And what you pay attention to grows. And what you do not pay attention to withers and dies. It's the second or third law of thermodynamics. And those things, some of them, as they wither and die, they fight. Take a look at racism. In the United States, it was just about gone. But people through their phones and going to school have been reprogrammed. And I mean just about anybody who's been through school. Their minds are warped and twisted. They now worship at the altar of race. And this was done through attention. Just by having you focus on something, having more and more people pay attention, and that thing grew. The destruction of the family is happening because of the use of attention. Marx knew this. Marx knew that power is so strong, that bond, that it had to be broken if you wanted to change the way these people apply their focus of their attention. So these types of concepts are going to be coming out in the book. And hopefully in these videos, if I can get back to it, I'm staring down my job is 12 hours a day. So I got to work out. I got to play with my kid. I got to cook food and lunch. So usually when I work, I can't make videos, and I work out. So it's like usually I get off work, I go shopping, I come back. I usually go swimming with my kid, above ground pool. Not a rich guy. And then usually I do my workout, and then I'll cook some food, and then it's, do it all over again the next day. Wake up, try and do some sort of Tai Chi, Qigong kind of thing. Basically a Meek way of living. Keeping my attention on my life and what's going on in my life, and not the distractions that the people want me to pay attention to. I'll admit, I like sports, but I don't really spend a lot of time on those types of things because I know what that is. They're trying to draw you into that. And so, yes, I do enjoy it. Of course, my Mariners are starting to struggle right when it counts. But, as someone who's been a lifelong Seattle fan, you get kind of used to these things. And I did watch Bill Belichick last night. So, my friends, the handful of folks that stumble across this, again, if you have questions or comments or anything, I think we need to start this dialogue. Other than that, get the hell off your phones. Get out there and start using the power of your attention to make the things that you want to grow. If you don't know what you want to have grown in your life, stop and think about it. What kind of world do you want? Start paying attention to that. Don't pay attention to the things that you don't want. That feeds that. All you anti-Trump people, you are exactly the same as Trumpers. You're all the same. MAGA and anti-Trump people are exactly the same. You are all feeding the same organism. You're exactly the same. There's no difference. And if you think whatever things are going on in your mind, say, no, I'm different, or MAGA's better, or whatever you're thinking, whatever. One, that's not you. You do not think. You are not capable of thinking. Thoughts enter your mind, and they come from somewhere that you have no control over. It's a sad thing to think about. Your emotions are not yours. You have zero control over them. You are the passenger of a car that's being driven by somebody else. But what you do have is your attention, because the car goes to where you're paying attention. So if you're paying attention to somebody that you don't like, you're going there. You're feeding that. Trump's re-election has more to do with anti-Trump movement than it does with the Trump movement. And I'm not for or against anybody. I think all politicians are profoundly evil. Obama and Trump are the same. Bush and Clinton are the same. Kennedy and Lincoln, and pick one of the bad ones that you think are bad. I don't care. They're all the same. Anyone who wishes to rule over another human being that believes that they have the right to do so because someone voted for them, this is the kind of evil that needs to be removed from this world. Again, I'm just going to ramble. There is no point to this video other than life got in my way. I've been very, very busy working on the philosophy. And I'm just kind of letting my mind just spit things out because I have no control over my mind. None. Even though I do work on that. And we all can't work on that. That's the Meek Gnosis. The Meek Gnosis is learning how to control your mind and learn how to control your body because they're not yours. Your thoughts are not yours. Your emotions are not yours. It's all cause and effect. All of it. But this body is our sensor. It's our sensor organ. And by keeping our sensors clean and learning how to actually get a solid reading, when you call it the signal to noise ratio, by keeping the noise down, which takes practice. It takes things like meditation and running and qigong, quieting the mind, softening your body, learning to listen. This meek process, becoming a warrior in the garden, becoming a capable being that goes out every day and makes life grow. Becoming that. Reducing the signal to noise ratio. Noise to signal ratio. Getting rid of the noise. And learning how to actually focus on what you want to see grow in this world and making it a beautiful place again. It is a beautiful place. But we can definitely reduce a lot of the suffering because all of the suffering is brought on by you. All suffering is brought on by you. We are co-creators. Oh, back to this whole philosophy thing. One of the greatest tragedies is the hijacking of the teachings of Jesus. You see, Jesus didn't teach negative philosophy. Jesus taught positive philosophy. The Judeo-Christian religion is a negative philosophy. Don't do this, don't do that, don't sin, don't blah, 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 blah. The only positive affirmation that they ask you to do is believe Jesus died for your sins. Jesus never asked you to do that. Jesus asked you to recognize sin in your life and to stop and not do it anymore. Jesus asked you to move in this world like someone who is about to get fired. Act in this world with clarity and swiftness. Jesus wanted you to live your life, and this, as the co-creator that you are, to have reverence for your fellow man. You meet the sinner where the sinner is, because that sinner is you. There is only one of us here, my friends. And Jesus taught that message. The path is narrow, it's one person wide. You cannot be called to a path because there is no path. It is just your life. You are the only one on it. And you have so much power with your attention. That all the forces in the world are attempting to steal from you. These are the Lotus eaters. They do not want you to know who you are. The main two branches of the Lotus eaters are politics and religion. They've thrown in some other ones like sports and, TV dramas and all sorts of these other things too. And now the Black Mirror device. Jesus. Poor kids in video games today. Well, I'm going to leave it there, though. I think that was a pretty good ramble. I'm going to have some focus videos coming out. I'm staring down at least a week of overtime, so it'll be at least a week before I get back to making videos again. Nobody wants to work anymore. So old men like me got to keep on keeping on. My friends, become healthy. Go out and check out my book. Again, it's on medium.com. I'm not quite sure how that works. I know how to pay $5 a month to put my book on there, the first part of my book on there. It's worth a read, though, I think. And I'd love to hear some comments on what you think. Again, this first part of the book is really pre-Adam and Eve. Anyone who knows the Bible understands that Genesis 1 begins after the earth has been destroyed. So this first part of my book is, it's an imagining of what happened before. What happened in the world before the Adam and Eve reset. And then part 2 is Adam and Eve through Cain and Abel. With an interesting appearance by Adapa, if you know that story. But all that aside, my friends, gonna have the white papers out soon, or a white paper on the philosophy, the practical application, and the larger metaphysics. And I think it's Gnostic Vedanta, Meek philosophy, the sovereignty of attention. I think we'll leave it there. Learn to become the wielder of your own attention. It is the most powerful thing you have. Diet and exercise help give you that. Gaining control of this body so it is less in charge and you become more and more in charge. And your reins are so thin. The body is a powerful drive of its own. Your mind is another source of drives that is not you. You are not your thoughts. I want everyone to understand that. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not your thoughts. These things are not you. The amalgamation of these things is your ego. But you are not your ego either. Your ego is just a character that you play on this stage of life. That's the other thing. I've noticed, I'm going to add that too, since this is just a rambling dump of information. I've been imagining this reality as a toroidal field lately, and I noticed as soon as I started thinking that way, and I call it the plane of experience. So the center of the toroidal field is coming out the top is the tree of life, and returning is the tree of knowledge. So as living information flows out, it's experienced by us in the field of experience. And then these experiences are returned through the tree of knowledge. They return to source, and then they rise up again to relive again. And to stay in this sphere of experience, it requires your attention. This is the energy that keeps things here. So things like, if you want to get rid of things like racism, you no longer pay attention to racism. Full stop. As soon as you talk about it, as soon as you start trying to rectify it, as soon as you start trying to do any of these things, as soon as you pay attention to it, you will keep it here. So if you actually want things like slavery to go away, and racism and all these other bad things that humanity likes to do, wars, stop paying attention to the damn wars. And if people come for you, well, defend yourself. Refuse to go, refuse to participate. Stop voting. Stop seeing your doctors if you can. Become healthy enough where you don't need one, because that person is stealing your life also in a different way. They weaken you. They weaken your ability to focus your own attention. They're evil beings. They don't even know it. If you don't know what my definition of evil is, it means to poison. And the whole modern pharmaceutical industry and our whole entire medical industry in the West is nothing but poisoning of the body to keep you weak so you cannot focus your own attention. They don't know that. They just think they're doing their job. They're just as broken and weak and pathetic as every other person in this world. Turns out the more educated you are, probably the weaker you are. Definitely the more corrupt your being is. Your attention has been stolen from you. We need to get this back, my friends. So understanding who we are and where we are, and then how to become that warrior in the garden so that you're powerful and capable, so that you learn to suppress the things that are trying to steal your attention. And then you can move in this world as a co-creator and make the things that you wish to grow, grow. That's what it means to be human. To move in this world and make it beautiful. And with that, my friends, I will see you on the next one. Hopefully less rambling and more focus. Maybe have an idea what I'm even going to talk about, but it is what it is, my friends. Until then.